Hello everyone, so I will be doing my January wrap-up. For the month of January, I read 7 books. I think that's a great start. So let's get started. The first book I read was The Secret History by Donna Tartt. This is about Richard who goes to an elite New England college where he meets a group of friends while he was trying to get into this very private Greek class. And there, the students, since they're so isolated, they become obsessed with the Greeks, and so their morals become skewed. They don't know what's right and wrong, and this leads them to do terrible things. I didn't know anything about this book when I started reading it. All that I knew was that everybody loved it. It got such rave reviews, and so I was so excited to read this book. But I was very disappointed. I did give it a 3-star rating, but I just didn't like it as much as I thought I was going to, especially with everyone loving it. I just don't understand. I hated every single character, and I thought this book was very pretentious. And I know the characters are unlikable, and I know it's supposed to be pretentious, but the story just didn't capture me where those things were okay. So I understood that it was supposed to be unlikable, but I just didn't care about the story. For me, it seemed like it was trying to be deep. Like it was trying to convey such meaning, and for me, didn't do anything for me. And I'm guessing it does for a lot of people. And I think that's awesome. I wish it did for me, because I want to read a book that absolutely changes my mind and makes me fall in love with it. Because for a lot of people this is it, but for me it wasn't at all. The next 4 books that I read were from the Wayward Children series by Sean McGuire. The first one being Every Heart a Doorway, then Down Among the Sticks and Bones, Beneath the Sugar Sky, and In an Absent Dream. This book is about when you're a child, some find doors, and these doors lead you to a different world. And not every child goes to the same world. And sadly, some of these children come back and live their life wishing they could go back, and happily some do find their doors again, but a lot don't. And each story is about a different child, either in the original world or the world that they went to. The first one is basically an introduction. You are introduced to the school that the children go to after they return, because it's hard for them, and the woman who runs it was one of those children, and so she created this school so these kids can have something to help them, since these worlds changed who they were, and so this woman helps them out. And so you meet her, you meet some of the children, and then each book follows one of the children's story from the first book. My favorite one so far is the second one, Down Among the Stick and Bones. I thought that one was the most interesting. You get to learn about these 2 characters you meet in the first book, because the first book was introduce these characters, and they were interesting. One of them saw the door, and so she took the other one back, and farther down you realize that everything you thought you knew was actually the opposite. And so the second one is all about those characters, and so I really enjoyed it. I mean, I gave them a 3-star rating. It's nothing amazing. I'm entertained, but these books are very short, so some of them isn't as fleshed out as I wish it was, but I really love how diverse this series is. So if you like short stories, I do recommend this. It's not the best, but you will be entertained. The sixth one is Venus in the Blind Spot by Junji Ito. This is a manga, and I gave it a 3-star rating. I was a little disappointed in this book. It wasn't as great as the first one, Slither, but it's still good. The only thing that I really didn't like about them is like the ending to some of the stories, because if you don't know this author, his stories are very disturbing, and like the drawings are too, and always like the ending is like even like shocking than what you thought it was in the beginning, and these kind of weren't. So I was kind of a little disappointed in that. But there are some great stories in here. The artwork is still disturbing, so that I enjoyed. Okay. But like I said, this isn't as great as his other one. But if someone asked me for a Junji Ito recommendation, this wouldn't be my first choice. The last one I read was This Savage Song by Victoria Schwab. This is a young adult fantasy novel about a world where there are monsters. And this follows two main characters, Kate, who's human, and her father is basically like the protector, but he's feared. Each person has like a token that they bought that ensures like their protection from the monsters. And it follows August, who is a monster who lives with humans, and so that they were able to fake his credentials, and he goes to school because monsters don't look like monsters, and so he's able to pretend he is human, and therefore no one's hunting him. But one day Kate is attacked, and August saves her by showing who he really is. I gave this a 3-star rating. I think all my books were 3-star ratings this month, which it's not bad, just disappointing. But I did like this book. Isn't my favorite. It isn't my favorite Victoria Schwab book, and so I was a little disappointed in that, but it was still good. I liked the concept. However, I think it'll be romance in the next book, which I'm not looking forward to, but as long as it's not the main story, I'll be fine with it. I'm hoping to pick up the next book soon, because this could easily me just putting it down and never picking up the second book until it's too late, until it's like I'm totally uninterested. And I don't want that to happen, because I do want to know I do want to find out what happens. But if I don't read the second one soon, I will just probably pick up something else and then not remember anything that was in this book. So those are the books I read in the month of January. Like and subscribe, and I'll see you later. Bye!